been immunised.
Sorry, Mrs. Davidson.
So am I. But I'm sure you couldn't help it.
No.
Take her down, please, sister.
Where are you taking her?
The prison hospital.
But there are prisoners there.
As I'm concerned, they're all sick people. They'll all be treated the same way. Although if we have any more cases, we shall have to make other arrangements. There won't be room in the hospital.
I don't like it, Mrs. Davidson. Prisoners and officers sleeping in the same room.
In the circumstances, we have no choice.
And where am I going to sleep now? I can't sleep in a room where Meg fell sick.
Well, the only other alternative is one of the solitary cells.
The men are up there.
Well, you can always close the door. In any case, I doubt whether anyone will get much sleep tonight.
Mrs. Davidson. Mrs. Davidson.
Oh, Mr. Fletcher. Oh, what time is it?
It's about 7:30. Are you all right?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. I didn't get much sleep. Officer Barfield fell ill and I took over her shift.
I should have woken me.
Oh, you'll have enough to do today with Officer Barfield and Mrs. Morrishill. Fortunately, none of the other prisoners were affected, so that's a good thing.
If you don't get some sleep, you'll be the next.
Oh, nonsense. I'll be all right as soon as I've had a shower and freshened up. I'll use the women's showers as soon as they're safely in the dining room.
Well, they're already there, but I don't think they're very happy about it.
Why not?
Well, we couldn't give them any of the food that Dr. Granger wanted destroyed, and, well, the alternative wasn't exactly their choice.
You don't expect us to eat this muck, do you, Vera?
You can please yourself.
I will. Give us a cuppa, will you, love?
Sure.
I'd give breakfast a miss this morning if I were you, Jude.
I think you're right. Anyway, I can afford to lose a few pounds, eh?
Oh, you.
You want a cup of tea?
Oh, thanks, honey.
Got her trained pretty quickly.
Yeah, she's okay.
Bit dumb, though.
Here, Bea.
Thanks, love.
And how's your roommate?
Well, she's so scared she wouldn't come out of her cell. Frightened she might catch something.
Thanks, honey.
Attention, everybody. Because of the quarantine, work in the laundry has been cancelled.
What for?
Because nothing you launder can be sent out of here. We might be transmitting germs. Instead, I want some volunteers. One group to disinfect the place, the other to burn all the food that has to be destroyed.
OK, this table starts the bonfire. That is, of course, if no one else objects.
All right, the rest of you can clean the place.
Has this sugar been brought in fresh?
No, that's old stock.
And I'm afraid it'll have to be disposed of, too.
Bryant, you better take a rest. Go on, take a break. Where do you think you're going, Baxter? Baxter!
Actually, I'd like a word with her, if you don't mind, Jim.
You're all right, but don't keep her too long. She's got work to do.
Thanks.
Oh, that's bloody marvellous. It leaves Dora and me to do all the work.
Yeah, well, you better get on with it, Smith. You too, Burns. Come on, hop to it.
How come if you got this
Georgie.
pacemaker thing to make you feel better, you feel so tired?
Georgie,
What do you want?
I've been looking at your test paper. I had to stick it together again first, of course. You'd answered all your sums, but none of your written questions. Why was that?
Mind your own bloody business.
Georgie, I'm just trying to help. I think you might have a learning problem.
The only problem I've got is you keeping on to me. Just bugger off, will you?
No, please,
Look,
listen.
bugger off!
Baxter!
It's all right, Jim. What I wanted to ask you is, can you read?
Look, why don't you ask her that later? She's a bit uptight now. We all are. We're all getting frightened of getting sick.
Yeah, perhaps you're right. But I'll be back.
Bloody teachers are all the same.
Can you read, love?
I can write my name and that, but I didn't get a chance to learn anything else. I didn't spend much time at school. And when I was there, all the teachers did was bash me round the head.
All right, Baxter, come on. Mr. Andrews is gone now.
Why don't you go and help Bea, love?
Okay.
Dr. Granger! Dr. Granger, would you come quickly, please?
Make sure all this food is burnt properly, Mr. Fletcher.
Right.
Take over, please, sister.
Well,
The same, I'm afraid. There's no more room in the prison hospital. From now on, we'll have to use the cells as temporary wards.
I I just don't understand it. These women were never near Armstrong, and they were immunised.
Well, the answer may be that we're not dealing with typhoid. I've just had a call from the isolation hospital. The woman on the plane died a few minutes ago.
It is imperative the prisoners do not find out about this woman dying. They could panic and riot trying to get out of here.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, there are already signs of breakdown in discipline. The women know that we can't punish them effectively under the circumstances. Do you want me to confiscate the radios and the television?
No, that won't be necessary. The health department is withholding the news of her death until after an autopsy has been completed. Then we'll know exactly where we stand.
Right. Bye-bye. The hospital agrees that it may not be typhoid. Otherwise, we'll be getting a better response from the antibiotics. They want us to tighten the hygiene procedure even further. Close down the kitchens entirely. Food will be brought to the gate ready cooked, and we'll pick it up from there. Since the epidemic seems to be confined to H Block, we'll pick up our food separately.
Right. Would you handle the security arrangements, Mr. Fletcher? We'll need an armed guard.
Well, I better take care of that myself. The other officers aren't too keen on firearms.
When can we expect the result of the autopsy?
That depends. Could be hours, could be days. At any rate, the tests we did on her when she was first admitted will have matured by tomorrow. At least then we'll know if it's typhoid.
And in the meantime?
Keep on with the antibiotics, just in case. Although the results are pretty haphazard. Mrs. Birdsworth seems to be getting better, but Mrs. Morris is much worse. And Mrs. Randall, who's refused any sort of treatment at all, seems to be doing better than any of them.
Well, I reckon you're stupid. I've been taking his antibotanics and I feel better.
Oh, will you be quiet, Lizzie?
OK, well, I know he's only a young bloke and that you could teach him a thing or two, but his cure's working on me.
Well, it isn't working on Mrs. Morris, is it?
No. Well, it's just a matter of time.
It won't work. No matter how much time you give it, I know.
How do you know?
Because I know it's not the right treatment, that's all. Look, I've seen this sort of thing when I was overseas. I know what'll cure her. I've got some stuff in my cell now.
Well, the doc's not going to let you use your stuff on her. Bloody pity, though. She's the best screw in the whole place.
I'm going to get the stuff now.
Oh, you can't. They'll stop you.
There's nobody here to stop me, is there?
Going somewhere, Mrs. Randall?
Yes, I want to go to the bathroom.
There are bedpans in the ward.
You can't keep me here. I'm not your patient. I'm not taking your medicine. I demand to be put back in my cell.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
You can't stop me. You've no right.
Well, that's where you're wrong. In matters like this, I'm in complete charge.
Well, I'm a sick woman. Your medicine isn't working. Now, Mrs. Morris could die. I can cure her and I can cure myself.
Not while you're my patient.
I am not your patient.
If you die, I'll be held responsible. You're not taking anything that I haven't prescribed.
You are a stupid, narrow-minded fool. You don't know what you're doing. You could kill us all before you admit you're wrong. I demand to see the governor.
You're not seeing anybody. You're going back to bed.
I am not. Well, just you remember, if Mrs. Morris dies, you killed her. Stupid fool.
I told you he wouldn't let you do it.
Oh, will you shut up, Lizzie?
Next time Mrs. Randall leaves the room, would you call out Mrs. Birdsworth?
Yes, Doctor.
Not that it'll make much difference. From now on, there'll be someone on duty at all times in the examination room.
To say I'd call out. I wouldn't really.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that means he trusts you. You can get the stuff for me.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no. I've been in here for over 20 years for poisoning. I didn't even do it, and I'm not going to give anything to Mrs. Morris.
Lizzie, you'll be saving her life.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you know what you're doing. But you did do in one of your patients once before, didn't you? And if I gave some of that stuff to Mrs. Morris and she died, God, I'll never forgive myself.
Oh, hey, Jude. Do you want a cup of coffee? Seeing as how you missed out on your tea this morning.
Yeah, thanks.
Ask your little friend if she wants one. Anybody in there?